Alright, what we want to look at in this video is we want to actually take a second and think about inertia in a simple example. So let's say you have a ball and you're going to throw it up in the air. So I have my marker and I throw it into the air. Now, a common misconception that people think happens is once the marker or the ball leaves your hand, it continues traveling upwards, even though gravity pulls the object down. So what happens is when I have the marker and I'm throwing it into the air, once the marker leaves my hand and it starts traveling up, and my hand gives it some initial speed. It leaves my hand with some initial speed. My hand is no longer interacting with the ball. My hand has no more force on the ball. What continues the marker's motion upward is its inertia. Inertia is what, once the marker leaves my hand, it continues traveling upwards because it travels upwards because of inertia. Not because my hand continues to impart a force upon it. Not because of the force. Once the marker left my hand and it was traveling up, my hand is no longer interacting with the marker. The reason the marker continues to travel upwards is inertia. Now, gravity is a force that is acting on the marker, and that's why the marker slows down and then starts going back towards the ground, is because gravity is acting on it. But once it leaves my hand, it continues traveling upwards because of inertia, not because the force of my hand. And really what's going on is gravity is a constant acceleration on the marker the whole time, or the ball, or whatever you throw up, whatever object you throw in the upward direction. So the marker actually leaves your hand, travels up, gravity stops it at the top, so V equals 0 at the top, and then the marker starts to get pulled down back by gravity back towards the ground. But just as a topic of inertia, once the marker leaves my hand, the force of my hand no longer is acting on the marker. It continues traveling upwards because of inertia. Gravity at that point is the only force acting on it, and gravity is slowing it down, which is why the marker slows down and then it comes back down, because gravity slowed it down and then is pulling it back towards there. But just remember that the reason the ball or object continues moving upwards after it leaves your hand is because of inertia, not because your hand is imparting some mystical force as it continues traveling upwards.